Hello, my friends. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Joe Theodore, and it's an honor to be here with you today. Hope you're doing well. If you're new, consider subscribing to the channel, and I hope you enjoy today's commentary. So, my friends, we're going to explore the full moon in Pisces. We're going to explore how this is a partial lunar eclipse. We're going to discuss how this moment in time is actually one ripple and a couple of ripples that will take place over the next year or two, involving Pisces, involving Saturn, actually, because Saturn is getting activated. And in this point in time, with Pluto back in Capricorn for the last 2 months, it'll ever be in Capricorn, for the next 200 plus years, this activation is important for a lot of the shifts happening in the world, for a lot of the lessons that might be reactivating for the part of your life that is Capricorn. And it's something very much to be considered when we're dealing with the eclipse, because we're at a point where we're all being birthed into a new future. Now, the Pisces part of your life may have something to do with this new future. When I examine my life and I see where my Pisces placement is, where I see where Saturn has been transiting, I very much see the details of what I'm learning or supposed to be building there. Something that was once dissolved in that part of my life. Or something I once had that was solid there that I thought was maybe going to be more of a solid, circumstance in my life. Ended up, as soon as Saturn entered Pisces, it revealed to me, no. You're meant to restructure some new thing there and embark on a new journey in that part of my life. And to me, Saturn in Pisces dissolves structure. It goes in and it loses its ability to not build, but I feel Saturn in Pisces wants to dissolve something that once was there, so we can then understand and awaken to something new that must be built there. So Saturn does teach us that we need to build something there. We need to structure something there. But its lesson in Pisces, in my opinion, is to reveal to us what no longer serves us, right? What no longer is working. And depending on your karma, kind of depends on how strong and intense that is. So this lunar eclipse will be activating Saturn. This lunar eclipse is happening while Pluto is back in Capricorn at 29 degrees, like I said earlier. How, in the eyes of the collective, when all of the outer planets will be dipping into new signs by next summer, they will all be occupying a new zodiac sign. Pluto will be officially in Aquarius. Uranus will be in Gemini for a bit. Neptune and Saturn will be in Aries for a bit. And then they both will retrograde back into Pisces for some time. So we're all going to feel the shift, the rush of energy, where we stand in the world for some things, and areas of your life that have never been activated by these planets before will be activated. And we're going to just get some foresight, some quick foresight of what it means. Like for Pluto and Aquarius, we already know maybe what that is kind of triggered in the Aquarian part of our life. A lot of people I've been seeing in readings have been sharing with me stuff going on in their life where Aquarius is. And it's amazing how things sort of just started birthing there. Like a lot of people I've met have had creative endeavors begin, and new ideas, and just an innovation, something that is going to transform their future in that part of their life, right? Pluto went in, kind of revealed to them the beginnings of what they need to do, what they need to work on. Some people have gotten great ideas for like businesses and stuff. And in the last couple of weeks, since seeing some of these clients with it back in Capricorn, kind of like myself, in how I was sharing in my Capricorn video that I just did, Pluto and Capricorn video, that I kind of got a reality check of a lot of the same themes and energies of when I was kind of lost and stuck for a bunch of years. Like I kind of slipped back into this old way of feeling and thinking, versus my Aquarian story being much more activated and much more inspiring, to be honest, in a way. So we're already getting a taste, is my point, of what Pluto and Aquarius is doing for us, or the beginnings of it. Because we're going to have 20 years to understand more of what Pluto and Aquarius means, just like all the transits we're going to experience on a collective level and the outer planets shifting. We're all going to understand more and more of what that's trying to teach us. But Saturn in Pisces is going to play a big role up until the spring, right? Then we're going to taste it in Aries for a bit, but then we're going to revisit it. We're going to revisit Saturn. And I can't remember off the top of my head, and I really wish I knew this before I hopped on here, but I'm not sure if Saturn will be in Pisces during the next lunar eclipse next fall. But if it is, then that furthers my case that Saturn's really important in this time. And I think it is. I think Saturn's retrograding back into Pisces next fall, or will be back in Pisces next fall. And this lunar eclipse will be activating Saturn, I believe, again. So what is Pisces, right? Pisces, again, is the depths of the unconscious. It is creativity. It is infinite potential. It is spirituality. It is religion in a way. Not really religion. It's the transcendence that religion is based on. It is confusion and delusion, in the more negative of senses. Pisces is psychic and intuitive, innovative, but not innovative like Aquarius, more innovative in a way where we have vision that is beyond reality, that could birth new things that have never been thought of before. Pulling in psychic insight from God knows where. So Saturn in Pisces, in a more positive way, has been dissolving old systems in the world. Let's use the world for a second. And Pluto in Aquarius has been giving a lot of preparation for us psychically of what the future is going to hold as far as even like technological innovation. And Saturn is a dreamer, right? Pisces will dream things into being. But Saturn there, I believe, has been dissolving structures of old. Same with Pluto and Capricorn, which is why this eclipse is so important, because I said in my Pluto video that Pluto and Capricorn is the dissolving and the ending of the old world. Pluto and Aquarius is the beginning of the new world. And Saturn in Pisces is, again, part of the dissolving. It's symbolic for the dissolving maybe of the old as well, and leaving room for us to structure something new in Pisces again. And I think when Saturn gets into Aries is when the Piscean story will truly have a moment to come alive. Because again, I think Saturn and Pisces transits don't allow us to build. They give us the awareness that we need to build. They give us maybe the ideas and vision of what we need to build, what we need to change. It could force us into the beginnings of that change. Here's an example, and I got this example from someone recently. Someone was in a corporate job, hated it. Saturn was in Aquarius, right? Saturn got in the Pisces from them. They decided they needed to leave this job. They wanted to start some kind of creative business. something they've always loved. The business hasn't launched yet, but they're putting in the work. She's dissolving her old life. She's still dissolving a part of herself that has not transformed fully. But that part of her life where Pisces is has everything to do, really, with the power behind this creative endeavor, business, whatever, for herself. And it's been challenging. And she's been having moments of psychosis, not legitimate psychosis, but like moments of just like, what the fuck am I doing with my life? I should have just stayed with the old world, the old me, the old this. But this entire transit, and I kept telling her, listen, by the time Saturn's out, the old you will be dissolved. Saturn is dissolving an old you. And again, your vision for this new business, this new endeavor, this new idea is percolating. It is growing. Every day you get more and more ideas. You are learning how to have a business of your own, right? So Saturn is not in a place to really build, but it's in a place to build spiritually and psycho-spiritually. Right? It's a very different type of building and structuring. And Saturn doesn't happen overnight. Saturn puts us in positions and teaches us as time goes on. So during this full moon, right? And during this eclipse moment, whatever we're going through in our life, in that Pisces part of our life, will be illuminated. Something there will be illuminated in a big way. Something that was once hidden might be revealed. Some new insight that will help us in the future. That is very important, that will help us in the future. Will, I believe, be shown to you or realized, right? Realized. Now, in a more negative sense, I guess, we can say something that could be revealed to certain people with certain karmas. This could be an activation point. Like this could be their awakening. This could be the moment where things in their life really dissolve. So a lot of people might have a really heightened and very potent activation, which sets them up for their future, right? But it could be a moment of legitimate decay where Saturn, where maybe the last thing that you had that was stable, Saturn will now dissolve, right? Now, a lot of people, I don't know if a lot of people agree with me when I say Saturn dissolves in Pisces, but really it dissolves because there's a grander vision afoot. We just have to be prepared to open ourselves up to know what that is. And I think that's a very unique personal matter, right? Like, of course, if I was in a reading with you, we would understand it. Like I could probably get it out of you, or you can share stuff about your life and we would know what the Saturn story is. Because it does delay. It does slow things down. For sure. Pisces has definitely slowed things down in our life because Saturn has been there. And because Neptune has been feeding maybe some extra fog and confusion in this time. Because I think Saturn has been providing more fog and confusion as it's been getting into the late degrees of Pisces. Because it's on its way to a new territory of Aries, activating a whole new part of our life. So this lunar eclipse, though, is going to tie into next year. There's going to be a lot that I feel may get triggered now that will come back around next year. So for me, I think this is great for most of us because whatever is going to be revealed, whatever insight we gain, whatever dissolves or whatever new, I guess, I even feel like there could be hope for some of us. Like inspiration, because Jupiter rules Pisces in ancient astrology. So I don't negate Jupiter's influence in the Piscean, right? So we need to trust in the process of whatever your Piscean story has been. But this activation will linger. And we're going to get another chance to see our progress next year in this area of life. So, on a personal level, this is very hard to gauge how this will affect you, of course. But in the world, I mean, taking the collective astrology, just generally speaking, right, and then zooming it into our life, we can kind of get some insight of what it truly means in a way. And like I said earlier, the collective story is all about how we are structuring and dissolving an old way of envisioning the world and slowly building a new one. And with all the outer planets shifting and Saturn being, of all signs for Saturn to be in during the outer planet shifts. And then, yes, it will go into Aries a little bit next year, right? And then officially get into Aries, after it retrogrades back into Pisces a little bit, it'll go direct again back into Aries. Or it'll retrograde back into Pisces and then go direct back into Aries. And I think that's like as we get closer to the end of 2025, maybe into 2026. No, it's in 2025, I believe, where Saturn will get back into Aries at some point. So we have time to work with this change. But Saturn's role in the collective world shift is the envisioning and building of something we have never seen before. So in our own life, it's no surprise, it's no coincidence that Saturn is in Pisces for us in this point in time. Because that part of our life is very important to dissolve and restructure and to build. Because whatever it is, whatever karma in your life has acquired up until now, like why you were born with a certain house of Pisces. In this moment in time, there's a reason for that. There is a very big reason for that. Only you know what that is. And if you don't know what that is, use this eclipse moment to meditate into that part of your life. Examine it. Ask yourselves questions about it. If Saturn is in your fourth house and your Pisces is in your fourth house, examine your roots, your ancestry, your home. What's going on with home? Do you desire to be home more? Are you struggling at home? What's going on there? Because Saturn is looking to dissolve an old version of that. And this can just be mentally and psychic stuff. It just doesn't have to be like, ooh, I need to move. No. This can just be like the way you emotionally and psychically associate yourself with your past, your childhood even, your literal home. Again, anything the fourth house has to do with. It's no surprise that Saturn is there for you right now. And this eclipse will be like a portal opening, but a lunar eclipse is a reveal, right? It is a reveal. It is not a birthing like a solar eclipse. It is a reveal. And these reveals are going to happen again next year when Rahu is really in Pisces. Because right now, North Node Rahu is still in Aries. That's why it's a partial eclipse. So it's like a partial window is opening, right? For a reveal of some kind. Which makes sense because Saturn is going to be back in Pisces. It's not fully departing by next year. So this partial moment will have its karmic completion by next fall. So I hope this made sense, my friends. I hope this video provides some insight. I mean, we really are dealing with so much collective stuff right now, though. I mean, all of us have been tied in to the web of reality that is unfolding before our eyes. Every single one of us is being affected by the mundane stuff in the world right now. Some of us are lucky enough to not really be so associated with that collective stuff, but I would argue that even myself, someone who's always been like apolitical, someone who's always been Like, I don't care about what goes on in the governments. I don't care what goes on when it comes to certain things. Everyone's corrupt, blah, blah, blah. I would argue that there's never been a time, though, where so much action needs to be taken in many different areas of life, or we will take for granted the lives we've always lived in a weird way. Because yes, we're dissolving an old world, but there's a lot of threats for where the world could go. There's a lot of wars going on right now. There's the potential for a lot more conflict in the future. And we have a lot of leaders around the world that are shifting and changing. So I would suggest keeping an eye on what's going on in the world, or keep one eye on it, and really think what's best for humanity, not what's best for yourself necessarily. Because that's one thing I think people in politics and just stuff, generally speaking, when it comes to collective matters, have wrong. A lot of people think we need to be isolationists. A lot of people think the way to solve the problems of the world is to not worry about the problems of the world. And I would argue it's too late to be isolationists. We have the internet. We have come too far during the Neptune and Pisces transit, to be honest, because the Neptune and Pisces transit has also pierced through the veil of truth and illusion. A lot of people are still living in illusion. A lot of people, we've all sort of fell into the trap of illusion in some way, social media and stuff like that, misinformation, disinformation, whatever. But it's too late to go back to ideologies that are all about the nation states, that are all about being isolationists. If we can't work together as a one world, if we don't help a brother and sister in another country, and I'm not talking about immigration shit, guys. I'm not talking about America immigration. I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying that all governments, all countries need to get their shit together, and they need to realize, and all people as well too, people who do want to move around the world and live other places, they need to respect where they're fucking going too. You know, that's also part of the deal. But the point I'm trying to make is, and that's part of the Saturn and Pisces story, in my opinion, then that could be maybe part of the eclipse moment for some places in the world, right? That all of us need to understand that what the world does will greatly dictate the freedom we have to evolve ourselves, right? And there are some political parties, there are some ideologies that don't want to keep the entire world in mind. Pluto in Aquarius. Aquarius is the sign of humanitarianism, of the collective. Capricorn is a restricting place. Capricorn's an earth sign, right? Aquarius is the innovator, the rebellion. It is inventiveness. Yes, it's ruled by Saturn, for sure. But it's ruled by Saturn that wants to build a new world that includes everybody. And Pluto, I think, will destroy anyone who's not on board with that. So we'll have to keep an eye on this eclipse moment. Please share what you think this eclipse is already activating for you. Share what you think Saturn and Pisces has been what's the story been there for you? Because I'd love to hear it. Anyway, that's all I have for you today, my friends. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Book a reading if you would like. I have a whole new scheduling system. If you go to my website, you can literally book yourself your own reading. It's gorgeous. I love having an automated system now. And yeah, my friends, that's all I have for you. Much love.